right. Ready to rock, ready to roll. There he is. You all right there? Did you watch the choke job or what? Were
I
you
did
up in
watch
the
that
morning
game.
watch the choke
I,
job against
I,
Germany? You lose to
I,
Germany, bro?
I dropped off my
Germany?
daughter in school, watched Team USA, did not expect that, and yeah, that was a very surprising result.
Mo Wagner? You're losing to Mo Wagner and Dennis
Dennis
Schroeder, a guy
Schroeder,
with
yeah,
gold hair. Now, although
Daniel Tice.
he doesn't have the gold hair anymore, right? He doesn't have the streak.
I don't think he does now.
I think
No.
he took off the streak. Um, bro, Germany? Are
Yeah,
you serious? Come on, bro.
yeah. I mean, obviously, this is not the A team, right, for Team USA, but still, they're the most talented team in the tournament. They're not, you obviously always expect Team USA to win gold. They shoot 48% from three, I think, and still lost, which is a little bit surprising. You think when Team USA shoots that well, with the athleticism they have, they shoot the three ball well, they should win. But Germany also shot the ball well. They had more field goal attempts. The offensive rebounding is still an issue for Team USA, and that really hurt them. I think Germany finished with 7 more offensive rebounds, I believe, or 5 more offensive rebounds than Team USA, which in a 2-point game or 1-point game, that's a difference.
Yes, I mean, it's just despicable. That this proves right that Spo should be coaching, not Steve Kerr. Just saying. I mean,
It proves that Bam Adebayo is really important to Team USA, which we were talking about a few days ago.
yes, yes.
They needed defensively. Again, Team USA shot the ball well. It was their defense was atrocious against
So
Germany.
where's the slacker? Why isn't he there?
I mean, it's not the Olympics.
He took it off? Is that it? He just said,
Most of that Team USA that won gold in where did they win it? In Tokyo, I believe. They didn't play in this World Cup. They didn't. Most of them are expected back in Paris next year for the Olympics, but did not play in the World Cup, which is why we saw a lot of new faces, a lot of young faces for Team USA in this tournament.
where was this World Cup played at?
Well, Team USA played their games in the Philippines. All
Oh,
games in the
okay.
Philippines. Yeah. It
All
was
right.
all in Manila.
So Spo had a fun time there.
Spo was a rock star over there.
I can imagine, bro.
Yeah, he's obviously he's beloved over there. Anytime he goes back, it's a huge deal. He was taking questions about it for most of the year, most of the season, in the NBA season, because it was just so anticipated.
Best coach in the NBA is Philippine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they should be pumped up. We have the best coach in the world, Eric Spoelstra. Yeah, bro. Philippines should be very excited about that. That's because he is. So it's time to fire Steve Kerr and hire Eric Spoelstra as your head coach, right?
I would expect obviously Steve Kerr to be the head coach for the Olympics next year, right? Because he just took over. The Olympics are next year, but I mean, at this point with the trajectory Eric Spoelstra is on with Team USA and how good he is as a coach, I mean, what better candidate to take over as head coach after Steve Kerr, right? So that's definitely a possibility for sure. I think Eric Spoelstra was asked by a reporter during the World Cup. Obviously, I'm not there, and he didn't really want to discuss it because Spo never looks forward. He's never going to talk about that. But I mean, that makes all the sense in the world to move to the next phase with Spo as the head coach. So we'll see.
Heat Nation isn't overreacting anymore to Jovic's performance in the World Cup anymore, huh? After those first couple games, it has not been the same Jovic since.
Yeah, he's taking. It seems like he's not taking as many shots. He's not playing as many minutes. He's still got it. He's still starting. He had 8 points on 4-4 shooting, which, I mean, on
Not
4 shots,
bad.
8 points is good, right? 1 rebound, 1 assist. He's playing solid. He's not, scoring 25 points on 9 of 9 shooting from the field like he did early on in the tournament. But for a 20-year-old, this is all. I mean, he just needs to play, right? He just needs to play basketball.
Yeah.
Whether it's Summer League, the World Cup, the Olympics, whatever, G League, like he needs to play basketball, and he's been playing a ton of games. So this is really good for him, and he's played well. Like, look, he's going to play for the gold medal on Sunday. He's playing a starting role for Serbia. He's their third leading scorer. So this is all good for him, and it's good for the Heat too. It's encouraging, right? Because I think I was talking about this with somebody yesterday. One of the most encouraging things about Nikola Jovic this summer has been his three-point shooting. Shooting, I think, close to 50% on threes in the World Cup. That's what his role is going to be on offense if he's playing minutes for the Heat, right? He needs to
Right.
space
Yeah.
the floor. He didn't shoot the ball well last year as a rookie. So the fact that his 3-point shot looks better this year, or at least this summer, that's encouraging for the Heat.
Yeah, although I'm still saying take Jovic, give me Jaquez, Jaquez. I'll stay with Jaquez over Jovic when it's all said and done. Um, anything. Do we know anything on the Portland end? I know we talked earlier in the
Yeah.
week, and I'm sure nothing's changed. At least I haven't read
Yeah.
anything out there.
Things are still very, very quiet. And, it seems like nothing really has changed. Their discussions have not picked up between the Heat and the Blazers. I still expect that things will, discussions will ramp up at least a little bit before camp. Like, how could they not, right? That's like the next deadline. Uh, some call it arbitrary deadline because he could still be on the roster after, during camp, obviously. But there is going to be at least some sense of urgency that maybe we can get a deal done before camp and avoid that circus, right? Of bringing him in a media day, training camp, that whole situation looming over Portland, before the season and then maybe even into early in the year. So I think there will be at least some sense of urgency in the next couple weeks. We'll probably hear a little bit more. Whether a deal gets done or not, we'll see. We'll see. It's kind of a game of poker right now, right? Who's going to blink first? Or is Portland going to take the Heat's offer and say, well, we're not going to get anything better. Let's just get it done. Will the Heat say, we want to get this done before camp? We want to be able to go into camp with Damian and build some chemistry and build an offense and not have to do this in mid-season. Let's improve our offer. And get it done. We'll see. I don't know. Those questions will be answered, in the coming weeks.
Well, there's a story out there that says NBA front office people are back in the offices. Players are starting to come in for the start of training camp, working
Sure.
on the facilities. So there will be more conversations between the Blazers and
Yeah.
prospective teams over the next few weeks that there were certainly over the last few months. There is a deadline-driven league. The next real deadline of any real substance is the start of training camp, and I think you can expect the Blazers to talk to teams again before then. But I think this is an organization that is fully prepared, and I think Damian Lillard is also prepared for the possibility that this training camp may start with him in camp. And then if you're the Blazers, you wait to see what happens in the first 20 to 25 games of the season to see what direction teams go in. Teams may become interested in who aren't interested now, or teams who are interested now may be willing to give more in trades, and it certainly gives you the possibility to construct a 3-team deal, which is what Damian Lillard deal might look like. And all of that sounds great in theory. I just have a hard time believing it. And here's the thing. I know that they're also all reporting, oh, Damian won't cause any ripples. Maybe he has to cause ripples. And maybe he's waiting for that moment to why cause it now when the trade still can happen. But once we get to the point of no return, that you're making me go back to training camp with you guys and I don't want to be here. What do you think the chances are that the people that think Damian Lillard isn't going to ruffle feathers, that he starts to ruffle those feathers and he starts to create some waves, as they
Yeah.
say?
I think Damian has a lot of respect for Portland. Not only the organization, but the city, right? And I don't know Damian Lillard. I haven't covered him yet, or maybe I will in the next
Oh, you
season, but we'll
will.
see.
You will. You will.
But from everything people I've talked to, from everything I've read, there's a lot of respect for that city, that organization. He's beloved there, right? It's kind of like Dwayne Wade in Miami. He'd rather not make it ugly, but if he has to, right? I mean, that's gonna be the next question. If this does enter media day in camp, how does he handle it? Is it as simple as, maybe you don't make it messy like James Harden, but you just stay away and say, I'm not going to report. I'll give up my paycheck. I'm not going to report. Find a deal. I'm not coming to camp. Maybe it's something like that where he just stays away and he does it his own way and creates a ripple effect that way. That kind of is, if this continues without a deal and we get to October 2nd on media day and he's still on Portland's roster, again, I'm going to be covering Portland's media day closer than the Heat's media day because that is going to be the story, right? Well, how does Damian Lillard handle this situation? Does he show up for media day? Does he not show up? What does Chauncey Billups have to say? What do teammates have to say? I mean, it's going to be a circus in Portland if he's still there.
Yeah. And listen, The Heat have acquired guys. Shaq was not in a good place with the Lakers and Phil Jackson at that point when he was weighing 400 pounds and had a bad toe, and then came to Miami and lost all that weight. Uh, Zoe wasn't happy with Charlotte. Golden State wasn't happy with Tim Hardaway.
Mm,
So Jimmy Butler wasn't necessarily happy with his scenario. Although the Philly thing was more, they made a decision to go with Tobias than him, so it wasn't really a butting heads type of thing. But that just in case if people are, oh well, maybe the Heat won't be happy if he's ruffling. No, the Heat
no,
won't care. The Heat,
yeah,
it's just you know what I'm saying.
part of the
So
business. Yeah,
yeah, it's part of the business,
yeah,
and maybe it's the only thing that he hasn't done, and he may not want to do.
right.
But
But he
guess
might have
what?
to. Yeah.
You might have to, bro.
Look at Goran Dragic. Goran Dragic, I covered Goran during his time here. The nicest guy you could ever meet. Just a great person. I cannot even imagine him ruffling any feathers. And he got out of Phoenix by ruffling some feathers. He forced his way out of there because he got to a point where he needed to. So everyone reaches a point where they might not want to do it, but if their agent or confidants are saying, "Look, Dame, if you want to get out of there, if you want to get what you want, you got to do this." He might have to do something out of character, unfortunately. We'll see if it gets to that point, right? We have 3-4 weeks until media day. Um, Again, I think the expectation, like you just read, the expectation around the league and people I've talked to as well, things will start to pick up here in the coming weeks, especially as training camp gets closer and closer. But that doesn't mean a deal gets done. It's been now over 2 months since Damian Lillard requested a trade, and nothing has come close. So, there's no guarantee that anything's gonna get done in the next 3-4 weeks.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, bro.
Yeah,
Sometimes your program director tells you, hey, don't talk about other hosts that get arrested in our company. They don't want that. And then sometimes you got to go do it so that way they can fire you and you can start your own platform.
yeah,
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
yeah.
No, seriously, that's what happened to me.
No, I mean it's true. I mean it's a fair
It's a,
point.
they had this memo that they sent out, and they were like, "No, you listen, because obviously it's a huge
Yeah,
company and owns 1,000 stations, so there's hosts all over the place. So there, some hosts got in trouble, and we were laughing about it on the show, this and that, and apparently others were doing it, and so then they passed a memo, company wide. Hey, listen, if one of our own people have, even if it's not in your market, do not bring it up on your show.
yeah.
That's how corporate works. Well, sure enough, some guy got arrested in New York, the station that they own, and I said, "This is my opportunity right here. Right here is
When
my
you know what
opportunity."
when you know what's gonna get you out, you do it, right? I
And
mean,
I and
yeah,
yeah, you damn right I do it,
yeah,
and I did
yeah,
it, and the idiot took hook, line, and sinker, and I got out like I wanted to. I I don't think he's ever fired anybody with a smile on his face, except yours truly. I mean, really, seriously, I don't think anybody has ever done that. Like, they're like, it's funny because when he told me, "Oh, hey, we got to let's talk after the show," I was like, I knew right there and then I was getting
yeah.
fired. And I go, "Hey, Solana, remember I told you 11 months ago I was getting fired? Here we go. Here's the
Wow,
nail in the coffin."
Solana. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I told Solana. Solana knows. I predicted. I told the salespeople months before that guy will fire me eventually, but I had to give him the nail in the coffin,
yeah,
and I knew it. And I go, I got to get out of here, bro. I got to, because this is the future, not
yeah,
radio. Radio's dead, So I say to Dame Lillard, bro, I've been there
yeah,
and I've done it. Do it, bro.
yeah,
Get the hell out, because corporations don't care about you. They use you up and step all over you. And that's what this asshole wants to do, Joe Cronin. He had 11 years to build a winner around him. He failed to build a championship around the guy. The guy's window's closing.
yeah,
He needs to get the hell out. And now you want to control where you send him, where you might send him to another shitty club that won't build a winner around him. And then his career's over. And there you go. Bada bing. It's over.
yeah,
No, dude, he wants to control his destiny. And I think in a perfect world, we all want to control our destiny if we can. And more often than not, can we? No, we can't.
yeah,
So if you want to control your destiny, do something about it, Dame. Do
yeah.
something.
And his situation is unique because I know some people compare it to like Jimmy Butler, right? When Jimmy Butler was in
No,
Minnesota and he created a mess,
completely different.
It's different, right? Like
Completely.
this guy, again, is an icon over there. He is, the best I can compare it to is Dwayne Wade. I know things ended a little bit messy in 2016
Yeah,
with
but that
the
wasn't
Dwayne
his
Wade,
fault.
but
That was
exactly
that was their fault, not his
right,
fault.
right,
Dame
right.
has done like Wade.
Yeah,
Dame has done everything right by you.
he's been loyal. He's been obviously one of
Phenomenal.
the best players in the NBA.
Yeah.
Great person, never gotten
Doesn't
in
get
trouble.
arrested, doesn't have any
Yes,
stupid stuff off the
right.
court or anything. He's impeccable,
He's
bro.
been through rebuilds. He's been through it all. And now he's ready. Again, his window's closing, like you said. Portland's obviously going with a youth movement and is rebuilding
Right.
now. It makes sense for Portland too, like to move on. And I know they want a better offer, right? That's what
Sure,
they're
they want
waiting
the
on.
Orlando
They
Magic
want
to
to,
give him a whole bunch of
yes,
shit, and then they send him to the Magic, and
right,
they don't care. Screw you, dude.
right.
No, we're not doing that.
Dame is 33, 34 years old. He has $216 million left on his deal. This isn't like you're trading Kevin Durant at 25, right?
Right.
Like this isn't this. You're not going to have the same return. You're just not. Or even Anthony Davis. When Anthony Davis got traded to the Lakers, Anthony Davis he's still young, but
Young.
very young.
Yeah.
And it just was a different situation. So this is kind of a very unique.
And by the way, you
Uh,
also have limited teams that will be interested
right.
because you have to have the window
Of right now. Correct.
right
Correct.
this second,
Right.
and then you have to have the cap space on
Right.
top of having the opportunity. So that limits you down to only a couple teams, and obviously Miami is definitely one of them. But yeah,
And willing to, you never know what that contract's going to look like when he's 35, 36 and he's getting $50 million a year, right? It might not be a great contract, but you're going for it right now. If you win a title in the next 2 years, you don't care what that contract looks like on the back end.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a very limited group of teams that it makes sense for.
Crazy. Follow him on Twitter at Anthony_Chiang. Catch his work there at the Miami Herald, and twice a week here doing our Baptist Health of South Florida /Ortho, Miami Heat, and NBA report. Anthony, have a great weekend, my friend. We will catch up next week, and hopefully we get a little closer to Damian Lillard. Appreciate you.
We'll see. Thanks, Big O.
Thank you, sir. Always, baby. Always. Thank you, sir. And the football. That's right. Football, too. Thank you, Anthony. There you go. That's your BaptistHealth.net Miami Heat report.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.